Election Day, it is 42 days away. All eyes are on our battleground state, looking to see which way we will go in November. The two big races, of course, president and governor. Let's start with the latter. Democratic nominee Attorney General Josh Stein versus Republican nominee Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson. A poll by Elon University finds that Stein has a double-digit lead on Robinson. Stein is favored by 49% of voters, 35% for Robinson. These numbers are kind of uncommon. Pollsters say that past races have been a lot closer with only a couple point difference. Now, when it comes to issues, 49% of voters say that abortion policy is a very high priority. 47% wanted decreased restrictions. Only 17% favored increased restrictions. Now, it's important to note that this poll wrapped up prior to CNN's recent report, which claimed that Mark Robinson made social media posts nearly a decade ago, referring to himself as a black Nazi and supporting slavery. Jason Husser, the director of the Elon University poll, says with Robinson already behind in the polls and with these new reports, it's unlikely he will be able to catch up to Stein.
What I imagine if we redid that survey today, we would find even worse numbers for Robinson. We're finding Robinson lagging in a number of key categories that Republicans need to win. Importantly, Robinson is not winning over independents the way that other gubernatorial winners have done. And most severely for Robinson's case, he's not winning his own party. We're finding quite a few Republicans who are definitely voting for Donald Trump, who are supporting other Republicans and Republican issues, are picking Stein over Robinson.
Well, Elon has another poll underway to see if these accusations impact not only Robinson in the polls, but other state Republican offices as well. We want to show you another poll by Emerson College showing Stein has the lead in the race for governor, but it's not quite as high. In their poll, there's an 8% difference. 48% say they support Josh Stein, 40% supporting Mark Robinson, 10% say they are undecided. So in the meantime, in the race for the White House, the presidential candidates continue to be pretty much neck and neck. Both Elon University and Emerson College both found a 1% difference in their polls. Experts say the race too close to call.
We're at a spot where voters in North Carolina are almost dead even divided between the two candidates. What that means is that the election will really come down to who can motivate people to go vote once voting is available to them. It may mean that some undecided voters could tip it one way or another, but we are really, if this was a football game, not even talking about inches. We're talking about fractions of inches to determine whether or not who's going to cross the goal.
Well, members of the two major parties favored their own candidates, but Trump polled stronger among independent voters, receiving 38% compared to Harris's 22%. The poll found Trump is doing better on economy and immigration policy, while voters preferred Harris on issues about picking Supreme Court justices and the environment. Well, this week, the candidates are really on a battleground state blitz. Harris has stops planned in Pennsylvania, Arizona, and Nevada. Trump is stopping in Georgia, Michigan, and of course, North Carolina again this week. Trump is scheduled for an event in Mint Hill, which is just outside of Charlotte. He was just in North Carolina on Saturday, hosting a rally in Wilmington. He said he would end taxes on tips, overtime pay, and Social Security payments if elected. We'll be carrying his remarks live tomorrow on our digital platforms. And as we get closer to Election Day, polls help give clarity to how states will vote, but what really goes into the polling? CBS Executive Director of Elections and Surveys, his name is Anthony Salvanto. He discusses what they're looking for and how they choose the people to poll.
So that you're creating what I often call that microcosm of the state or the country or the likely electorate. It's not the same as people just gathering on a social media feed and weighing in their opinions.
CBS News works with YouGov, which analyzes data and research. Together, they invite people across categories such as age, gender, race, and education. The total sample size is in the thousands, but the goal is to represent every kind of voter. Well, in North Carolina, over 200,000 absentee ballots have already been requested for this election. The State Board of Elections says over 100 ballots have already been returned by military and overseas voters. And while it seems like November 5th is a long way off, officials are encouraging you to fill out that absentee ballot and bring it back early.
Encourage voters who wish to vote by mail to request their ballot as soon as possible to make sure there's enough time to receive a ballot, complete it, and return it to your county board of elections so that it is received by 7:30 p.m. on election night, November the 5th.
If you request an absentee ballot but decide you want to vote in person, you can just destroy the absentee ballot. But a heads up, if you're mailing your ballot, it is not free to mail.
Okay, the voter puts their postage on here. Now for this year, it is $1.77 to mail this back to the Board of Elections. Yeah, it's $1.77. But it can also be hand delivered to an early voting site, not at an election day precinct, but an early voting site, or you can take it to our Board of Elections office.
Don't forget, after you've sent in an absentee ballot, you can track it at NorthCarolinaBallotTracks.net. If you want to vote but haven't registered, time is running out. The online and mail deadline to register to vote is about 2.5 weeks away. However, if you plan on participating in early voting, you can do same-day registration. That is available during early voting time. Now, if you're not sure if you're registered, you can visit our County Board of Elections website, worth a check. Names can be removed if you haven't voted in 2 federal election cycles or if you have moved to another state. And if you missed any of our conversation about this, you can find it on our website. It'll be in the Who Wants to Know section.